Good afternoon. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. The first show of the new year. We have been away on holiday, so we're glad to be back. And this is Mornings with Michael is for information and educational purposes only. It is your responsibility to do your own due diligence. But let's get to the report. Share our screen. Here's the S&P 500 heat map. Microsoft broke out yesterday. We put on a trade. We'll look at the trade a little later. It was a spread trade. NVIDIA is down a little bit. Google Meta keeps soaring. Kind of from the breakout of 330. It's right around 375 right now. So that's where we put that on. We had been talking about Meta around 300. Felt it was going to go up, and sure enough, it has. Costco is up slightly. Lilly continues to be strong in the medical healthcare sector. United Healthcare is down strong on news that healthcare costs have risen quite a bit. CVS is down in sympathy. Some of the software stocks are up. Energy is up slightly. Utilities, and there you see it. And let's move over and let's share our screen. So let's share our screen. We typically share this annuity. Just kind of shows how annuity beats index investing by about 5%, 12.58 to 7.57%. How did they do that? They give a bonus, and then they have a percentage gain as well. So over the life of that annuity, it beats index investing by about 5%. Never lose money in an annuity. It goes up, does not come down, goes up a step, again, does not come down, whereas index investing bob and weave to the various stock indexes that it is invested in. So we believe that 85 to 90% of people should be in an annuity and sleep well at night, knowing that your 401k will not turn into a 201k. So let's go to our screens. And then we'll shift for payments. Got a upgrade today. I believe they said it was their $77 to $80 a share. Put on a trade, 77.50 to 85, I believe, is the spread on February date. So we'll just see if that will be able to follow through. It did move up earlier strongly, and now has pulled back quite a bit to kind of leave off where it broke out with this consolidation yesterday. But let's take a look at our dollar index. Dollar index has been kind of flat, had a big sell-off, popped up here, and has been trading in a range. And let's take a look at gold. Dollar is up slightly today. Gold is up slightly as well, up nearly 1%. Silver was up earlier this morning. It was up, bounced up this area, and now it is kind of filling the gap, as they say. Still up 1.8%. Take a look at our copper. Copper bounced and then has pulled back, up only 0.05%. Southern Copper tried to bounce as well and is pulling back. FCX bounced and is pulling back a little more, down 0.19%. And then we have Vale tried to bounce and is pulling back as well. Rio is up slightly. And BHP out of Australia tried to bounce as well and is off a little bit as well. So let's look at our bonds. Bonds sold off. They were kind of strong a couple of days ago when the CPI came out stronger than people anticipated. They were anticipating 0.2%, and it came in at 0.3%, comparing December to November. So inflation kind of surged. The producer price index is down today, and Barclays is estimating that there's going to be a reducing interest rates in March. That's what they're predicting. So let's take a look at our 20-year yield, pulling back to 3.186. It's actually a little stronger than the 10-year. The VIX has been trending lower, had a little bit of a bounce today, but it has pulled back like a lot of the other markets that we're looking at. S&P 500 is up slightly. Looks up like it's it's hit a new high. The equal weight S&P 500 is kind of treading water here, not moving higher. So it's obviously the big 7 stocks that are pushing the S&P 500 up. The QQQ is up 0.08% today. It's kind of been a trading range here. Had sold off here a little bit to start the year, and now has come right back. We ended the year pretty strong move in the index, pulled back, and now it's trending higher. Look at it, the equal weight. Looks a little better than the equal weight of the S&P. The small caps aren't, they tried to move higher and then they pulled back, and they haven't done what the S&P and the the Nasdaq have done. Dow Jones, a little bit of a pullback here, but it remains pretty strong considering what Boeing has been doing. So we'll take a look at our news for the day. Pull up the news here. In the world news, the US and the UK launched airstrikes on the Houthi rebel targets in Yemen, escalating a conflict with the Iranian proxy in response to a string of attacks that have disrupted commercial, there goes the closing bell, shipping in the Red Sea. Take a look at Delta Airlines. Q4 adjusted EPS $1.28 versus estimate $1.17. And it's not quite what people were looking for. Huge drop, down nearly 9% here. Good Times Restaurant, quarterly same-store sales increased 4.1% for its Good Times brand and decreased 6.2% for its Bad Daddy's brand. Same-store sales up 4.1% for Good Times and down 6.2% for Bad Daddy's brand. And it's up slightly. Got a slight little bounce there. And then Tesla is selling off Cuts China revamped Model 3 by 5.9%, 245,900 won, or $34,636. Cuts Model 3 long range to 285,900 won, and cuts Model Y to 258,900 won, and cuts Model Y long range to 299,900 won. On the downturn in the stock, Kathy Woods and her ARK funds have put in a huge buy. We'll see if we can take a look at that a little later. As it undercut its 200-day moving average, she put in a buy over here. Concrete pumping, Q4 EPS 16 cents versus 18 cents. Sold off pretty strong earlier, and then is fighting to get back to where it was yesterday. Johnson Controls, downgraded to underperform from sector perform at RBC Capital, and it's pulling back to its 20-day moving average, down 2.5%. Into financials, a lot of financials reports coming out. Bank of America Q4 EPS 70 cents versus 63 cents. Initially sold off, and it's fighting to get back to its 20-day moving average. JP Morgan has been bouncing around. Q4 adjusted revenues 39.94 billion versus estimate 40.23 billion. And it's closed on its low. It did move higher, and then it has a big pullback, 3% earnings surprise. Wells Fargo. Revenue in the Q4 rose 2% to 20.5 billion. Net income rose to 3.45 billion, or 86 cents a share. It's not quite what people were looking for, I guess. It's down, closed near its low, down 3.3%. It's at 47.40. BlackRock has agreed to buy private equity firm Global Infrastructure Partners for roughly $12.5 billion in cash and stock. Significant push into private market investments for the world's largest asset manager, says the Wall Street Journal. They're moving up on this news, bouncing on their 20-day moving average to get above their 10-day moving average. And they also raised their quarterly dividend 2% to $5.10 per share. Q4 adjusted EPS $9.66 tops consensus of $8.84. Bank of New York Mellon, Q4 adjusted EPS $1.28 versus $1.13. People like that. Gapped up big time, up 4%. Huge volume on this news, even though the EPS was down 2% from the previous quarter. This was a 13% earnings surprise. And on to Robinhood. Announced that 11 spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds are available for both retirement and brokerage accounts. And their stock has fallen nearly 6% today. On to healthcare. United Healthcare Q4 adjusted EPS $6.16 versus $5.98. But costs, healthcare costs have risen quite a bit, and so this is why the big sell-off today, down 3.3%. On to technology, media, and telecom. Qualcomm up slightly, upgraded to buy for neutral at Citigroup with a $160 target. Industry checks also indicated inventory replenishment in the wireless end market continues. Wireless end market continues, and they expect to upgrade Qualcomm print and guide and are raising numbers, ratings, and launching positive Catalyst Watch. So that's all of our news for today. Let's take a look at what's moving in the market. And then I'll take a look at some of the stocks in my personal portfolio. DocuSign continues to perform well. It has broken out of a consolidation, huge move yesterday, and it continues that move up 3.6% today, matches the volume from yesterday. So that's pretty amazing. Brown and Brown, moving up pretty strong today. Looks like we got a breakout of consolidation, trying to get into the blue area. Palomar Holdings also breaking out today, provides special property, personal and commercial property insurance products. Rex is bouncing a little bit after a pretty strong pullback. It's a little higher than the sales. Had number of red days here, which is something to beware of. ACM Research continues its breakout, had a strong move, I guess about close to a week ago. Maybe it was on Monday, and then it just continues. The blue volume is much higher than the red volume, so that's a positive. Checkpoint Software continues strong up. Once again, it's in the software sector. It broke out over here, up 1.55%. Intap provides cloud-based and AI-powered software. Once again, software. It's breaking out over here. 40.95 would have been on the breakout, and it moved up $1.15 today, up to 41.36. Pretty strong volume. 2 of the last 3 days. TK Tankers gaps up today, up 4.26%. Maybe with all the things going on in the Middle East, products are getting a review. And then here's the other TK, Bermuda-based company, engages international crude liquefied fuel, up 2.73%. And Appfolio up slightly, 0.68%. And a few days in a row has been moving up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row has been moving up. And then what's been on the down? GVA, Granite Construction, continues its downdraft. Huge volume here on the downside. We looked at Dallas in the news, or Delta Airlines, I should say. T-Rex, 2 times long in Tesla. With Tesla coming down, yeah, that's going to definitely come down stronger. Down 7.5% today. United Airlines, gapping down. EPS in 10 days. I guess what's going on with Delta is having an effect on United Airlines. Tech Target, information technology and advertising, moving down. It looks gapped up on a cash offer, and now it looks like it's trying to fill the gap, down 12.23% today. And you got Baidu moving down 7% on massive volume over here. MicroStrategies moving down on Bitcoin came out with approval of the ETF from the SEC, and it's kind of buy on the rumor and sell on the fact. So we'll just see how far this goes down. It's getting close to where the buy zone was. If you bought in this green area, should have sold and moved up here, and you'd have a nice tidy profit. So let's take a look. I'm going to take a look at some things I've added to portfolio last couple of days, and then over the holiday when we were away. Let's see, Netflix. Looked like we had a little bit of a breakout here on their ads popping up. Added Netflix over here after hours yesterday. Got Microsoft. Added a little bit of a Microsoft. We had a spread trade. I'm just going to try to bring up my account here. So on Microsoft, we put on 380, 390 trade. It's up about 12%, I believe. This is for February. And also put on this was right after Christmas. Fresh Works and software. And let me see where we put that on. We just bought the calls. We didn't put on a spread trade. It's up about 53%. So we put that on at 20. So if this continues well, we'll just convert that to regular shares. We had put the 330 on Meta, 330 January option. Put that on in December and just let that convert. So that's converted to 200 shares. So that excuse me for got a little bit of a tickle in the throat. So that's up about 10% since that converted. And then let's just kind of go around the horn, see some of the other issues that we put on. Put on ARM at 65, pulled up to 78.66. We're still kind of holding at a bit of a pullback. Let's see if we'll get a bounce here. Earnings are due in a little less than a month. BLTE, we continue to hold that. BLTE is up about 28%. We added it here around 36.70, and actually was over here after it had consolidated and bounced right around 36.70 to 38. Let me just see if it'll give me the price. 38.91 was the trade price. So that's that. And then we got Kava. Bought Kava at 33. And then we added a little bit more on a pullback to 31, right around here. So what's the average? The average trade price was 33.60. Ran up to 45.08. Pulled back a little bit. And we're just kind of holding on Kava. In the uranium space, this is DNN. Our original trade price was $1.79. Trying to get back to my other screen here. $1.79. Had a little bit of a pullback. I was getting close to taking it off. And then we got a bounce over here. Kind of look at CCJ and just kind of see where it bounced. Then we got another strong move today on a breakout. Another account that I manage had bought this, I believe, at $1.19. It's up about 66%. Take a look at CCJ. You can see the big move, CCJ over here, and then a gap up today to right around 50. So Denison is going to follow what Kameko does. So we'll just see if it can continue running here. Get back to our positions. ELF. We bought the options over here at 120. Actually, not over here, but it was right in this area. No, it's run from 120. We let the options convert to shares, and it's run from 120 now up to 157.61. It did pull back here. I believe we added another 100 shares in the pullback. So that is ELF Beauty, local Oakland company, which stands for eyes, lips, and face. It's doing well against the competitors. Take a look at ERO. We bought these at $14.95, just slightly in the money right now, and right around 4%. So we'll continue to kind of watch these. We got into 4 today. Did a 77.50, 85 spread. Just kind of watch that. This at a kind of ugly reversal today after the upgrade by analysts. Glad I kind of waited and set a lower price. It was at 230, and then it had been as high as 250. So you get into these spread trades, really need to match your price, because they can really, with the excitement moves up, you need to set your price so they don't take your money. So we went over, I believe we went over Fresh, GitLab, believe, we talked about buying it right over here, right around 55, and then it gapped up on the earnings, and it is kind of bouncing around here a bit, but we're going to hold it and see if it can get up into this profit zone here. Samsara, another San Francisco-based company. We bought it, the option at 25, let it convert, and it bounced up on the earnings up to 34, 36. Had a little bit of a pullback, and now it's come back into the buy zone. So we're holding this, is up about 9.5%. Look at Meta. Microsoft, I believe we looked at as well. And we had the 380, 390 spread, and it's almost gets up to 390. We'll roll it over. I guess we'll do a 390, 400 spread. Take our profits. Silver, Our silver trade is down a little bit, 2.64% on a little bit of a pullback here. We had bought some more, pulled back here, and realized it was going to pull back a little bit more. But it's up $240 today. We'll just see if I think this trend is going to continue, but as you can see, it kind of bounces around up and down. This is why when it gets up in this area, highly recommend you take at least 10% off, pulls back to this area, you add 15%. That's how you make it in the silver. And then our final area is in Zscaler. Bought this at right around 177.50. It's where we put in our option trade, converted the shares, and it's up. Doesn't really. It's up a little over about 22%. Compare that to CrowdStrike, one we got shaken out of, which is continues to slightly bother me, but we moved on to Zscaler, so it's not too bad. But CrowdStrike is definitely the leader, as you can see. We had a option at 155. We got shaken out when it pulled back to 140, and then shortly thereafter, it really took off. It's a pretty hard stock to get into, but it just keeps on going. Well, we're going to leave it there. Once again, Mornings with Michael has been brought to you for information and educational purposes. Hope you have a great day, great weekend. We'll talk to you later.